Chapter 21. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Night raid at 1:30 p.m., an SUV stopped at the road outside the supermarket warehouse. 4 figures holding machetes and iron rods snuck out of the car. They were Hua Zi and the others. It's 1:30 in the middle of the night. I'm guessing everyone inside is asleep. Let's try to take him down in one go. Kill all the men. As for the females. He. The corners of Hua Zi's lips curled up unconsciously. The others also laughed. This was how the apocalypse should be. Wu Jiangwo was too rigid and traditional. There was no point in following him. Let's go. Let's get the troublesome parts out of the way quickly. The long night should be spent on women. Hua Zi took the lead and walked in front. In the warehouse, Wang Ran was wide awake. He had just finished another session with the girls and was heading to the freezer to get a bottle of cold beer. Cold beer would soon be a rare luxury. When he passed by the surveillance screen, the motion capture system gave him a prompt. Wang Ran gave it a glance. Oh, it's these guys. Wang Ran smiled. Hua Zi's bald head stood out in the night, and Wang Ran recognized him at a glance. During the day, Wang Ran had already felt that Hua Zi would be up to no good. As expected, they had come to kill him in the middle of the night. Master, do you want me to go and deal with them? Su Xiaoyu volunteered. After their last session, she felt that she had become stronger. No need. I'll go on my own. I need to take a piss outside, anyway. With a beer in one hand and his sword in the other, Wang Ran opened the door and walked out leisurely. The 4 people who were trying to figure out how to enter the warehouse were stunned when they saw the door open. What an unlucky brat. Brat, just in time. How many people are there inside? Call them all out. Today, I, Master Hua, am telling you that I now own this place. Hua Zi looked at Wang Ran arrogantly. This warehouse. Including me, there are 3 of us. However, I can't bear to let my women come out and attract mosquitoes in the middle of the night. Wang Ran took a sip of beer and said with a smile. What? Only so few people. Hua Zi was stunned at first, then he immediately showed a delighted expression. This also meant that they could easily take down this place. A warehouse full of supplies. 2 beautiful women who could make one's legs go weak. Ha ha ha. Kid, you should just surrender. Maybe I'll even take you in as a little brother after I'm done playing with them. Oh, there's even cold beer, this place is great. Hua Zi's eyes lit up when he saw the beer in Wang Ran's hand. You want some cold beer? Wang Ran took a few steps forward with the beer in his hand. Sure I do. In this world, if I can have a mouthful of cold beer to drink, I'd remember that I'm alive again. Come, quickly get a few bottles for your Master Hua. Hua Zi did not take Wang Ran seriously at all because he had many people on his side. Alright. Since you want it so much. Here's your reward. Wang Ran took a quick step forward and smashed the beer bottle on Hua Zi's head. Bang, the beer bottle was smashed into pieces. Hua Zi's bald head instantly turned red. Wang Ran's blow had been heavy, and Hua Zi reeled back, stunned. F***ck. He actually ambushed Brother Hua. Everyone, let's go. At Gang Zi's command, the other 3 immediately rushed forward with their weapons in hand. Wang Ran calmly drew his sword and held the handle with both hands. Slash. Gang Zi, who was charging at the front, was directly cut into 2 by Wang Ran from the waist. He could only watch helplessly as his upper body continued to fall. Oh, shit. There was only despair in Gang Zi's eyes. When the other 2 underlings saw this scene, they were instantly scared out of their wits. However, they had come too far to stop. 1 slash. 2 slashes. 2 heads flew into the sky, and their hollow necks sprayed blood into the air. At that moment, Hua Zi, who was holding his head, finally came to his senses. When he finally caught sight of the three bodies beside him, he was so scared that he couldn't even hold the machete in his hand. He finally knew why Wang Ran could occupy this warehouse alone. With this strength, even if another 10 people came, he would not have even warmed up. Big brother. I was wrong, big brother. It's my fault for failing to recognize your strength. Just let me live. Hua Zi immediately kneeled on the ground and kowtowed. There was already a large wound on his head, and fresh blood was flowing. At first glance, one would think that a watermelon had been sliced open. My greatest strength is that I hold grudges. It's not a big deal that you were only interested in my stash. Anyone would have the same thought. But the way you looked at my women. That's a problem. However, I'm in a good mood today, so I'm going to give you a chance. Whether you can live or not, it's up to you. As Wang Ran spoke, he swung his sword and cut off both of Hua Zi's legs from the knees. Why? Hua Zi quickly understood Wang Ran's intention. He had to crawl out by himself. This meant that Wang Ran would not chase after him. It was all up to him. Therefore, even though his legs were cut off, Hua Zi did not dare to scream loudly for fear of attracting zombies. As long as he could hold on and climb into the car, he may just live. Alright, I'll leave it to you. Here's a small parting gift. Wang Ran took out a Bluetooth speaker from his pocket. Hua Zi's body trembled. What was he doing? What the hell was he up to? Wang Ran smiled and tapped his phone. The full volume of the music was particularly glaring in the quiet night. Many of the zombies wandering nearby turned to them. King tricked me. Hua Zi's had bit his own lips bloody. However, he did not have the ability to fight back at all. Yeah, I did. Bite me. Wang Ran smiled and threw the Bluetooth to a place not far from Hua Zi. Good luck. Wang Ran picked up the sword and leisurely returned to the warehouse. Now, Hua Zi had two choices. 1. Crawl over and disable the speaker. 2. Crawl just a little further to the car. They were in different directions, so he had to make a choice. Hua Zi was extremely conflicted. If he turned off the speaker, he would have less time to escape. However, if he didn't turn it off, numerous zombies would be attracted over. He didn't have time to think. Hua Zi gritted his teeth and crawled to the car that was parked by the side of the road. Roar! Many zombies had already wandered over. With the rhythmic melody, a crowd seemed to have gathered for a concert. Hua Zi was surrounded by dozens of zombies before he could even make it halfway. Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. An eventful day. The next morning, Wang Ran woke up from his sleep, feeling refreshed. Ever since they had the warehouse to themselves, Wang Ran had stopped sleeping in a tent. They had a full bed to themselves, courtesy of the furniture section. Wang Ran had moved it to the front of the big screen. This way, it would be more convenient to monitor the situation at any time. Master, it's time for breakfast. The well-behaved Lin Momo served the steak and fried egg. The steak had already been cut into many thin strips and sprinkled with seasonings. Lin Momo's cooking skills were excellent. Master, let me feed you. Lin Momo leaned toward Wang Ran, picked up a piece of steak with a fork, and delivered it to Wang Ran's mouth. That's good. Wang Ran immediately praised her after eating a piece. Thank you for the compliment, master. Do I get a reward? Lin Momo asked, blushing. I know you're up to no good, but I ain't prove it just yet, he said. Wang Ran rubbed Lin Momo's little head. Lin Momo continued to feed Wang Ran. Hey, where's Xiaoyu? Where did you go so early in the morning? Wang Ran asked curiously. He had not seen Su Xiaoyu when he woke up today. Sister Xiaoyu saw a large number of zombies surrounding the warehouse from the screen. She went out to clean up the zombies this morning, Lin Momo explained. Ah. Both of you have done so well. I have a feeling that you guys are up to something. Wang Ran rubbed his waist. Ever since he had been mutilating his strength with them for the past 2 days, his waist seemed to have become a lot stronger. It did not feel as sore as it did 2 days ago. It wasn't impossible to give them some additional rewards occasionally. Very quickly, Lin Momo finished feeding Wang Ran breakfast. Master, I'm going to wash the dishes. Lin Momo got up and was about to leave, but Wang Ran pulled her back. What, Master, what are you doing? Lin Momo was confused. But soon, she understood. Master was going to reward her. The plate was thrown away, and the quilt rolled up. It was another energetic morning. Not long after, Su Xiaoyu, who had headed out to kill zombies, returned to the warehouse. All right. You guys actually. Su Xiaoyu stood in front of the bed with her hands on her hips, looking unhappy. I worked so hard to clean up the zombies, but you two are hiding here. He was disregarding his own quota. This is too much. Sister Xiaoyu. Master just complimented you and said he would reward you. Lin Momo covered herself with a pillow and jumped out of bed. Reward me. Of course, I'll be rewarded. Su Xiaoyu was secretly happy to hear Lin Momo's words, but she still put on a sullen face. Girls, even if they had turned into zombies, still needed to be coaxed. Alright, Xiaoyu, you've done well. Hurry up and come in while it's hot. Wang Ran waved at Su Xiaoyu. Su Xiaoyu had no reason to wait around. This was going to be an eventful day. After the battle, Wang Ran leaned against the cushion and enjoyed the lunch that Lin Momo fed him. Exercise after eating, eat after exercising. Wang Ran's life was like that of a breeding pig. Not long after, Wu Jiangwo and the others appeared on the surveillance screen. It was time for business. Outside the warehouse. Wu Jiangwo got out of the car with his men. That's Hua's car. I didn't see him this morning. He really came here. Those damned guys. Wu Jiangwo couldn't help but curse. Boss, do you think they succeeded? One of his underlings asked. Succeeded, why don't you think about it? How could someone occupying this place be weak? Forget about Hua Zi. Even if all of us work together, we might not be able to take down this warehouse. The world has already collapsed, but there are still some rules that must be followed. Hua Zi broke the rules. I don't even know if we can continue to trade with them. Wu Jiangwo sighed. The group of people proceeded cautiously with the diesel and gasoline barrels they had collected. Boss, why are there so many zombie bodies on the ground? There weren't this many when I came yesterday. They look fresh, they just died not long ago, one of the underlings muttered. There are at least 200 zombie bodies. If it were us, we might not even be able to kill them in a day. Now, do you know their strength? In the future, don't go running off with ideas of your own, Wu Jiangwo warned. The underlings all nodded. They were not like Hua Zi, so they were still upright and obeyed Wu Jiangwo. Boss, you see. Isn't this Gang Zi's corpse? One of the underlings pointed at the upper half of the body on the ground and said. F***CK. It's such a clean cut, like a butcher's work. He was cut in half by a single stroke. I remember that young man walking around with a sword at his waist. Such strength. Wu Jiangwo analyzed the situation and was shocked. Beheading a person cleanly was already a feat, bisecting someone from the waist with a single stroke. How strong was he? The underlings at the side also sighed when they heard this. Such a terrifying guy. They should never cross him. As they spoke, the door to the warehouse opened. A young man in a sleeping robe walked out slowly with a sword on his shoulder. It was Wang Ran. Brother, I must apologize. I just only learned that a few of my unreliable subordinates came to your place last night to cause trouble. I am to blame for this. Please accept my apologies. As compensation, we'll give you half of our oil today for free. I hope you will look past this. Wu Jiangwo hammered his chest with one hand to express his apology. Since you've said so. All right, we'll do as you say. Wang Ran smiled and nodded. He finally knew why Wu Jiangwo became the strongest awakened and a significant leader in City N. He had a good moral standing, an excellent character, and he had the strength to back his principles up. Such a person would naturally attract a large number of followers. Very quickly, the two sides reached a deal. That's right, brother. You said you needed gold last time. Although I don't know why you need gold for in this environment. However, I did find a good place. It's a big bank with an underground vault. One of the ladies in our camp happened to be the vault manager of this bank. She has the key to that place. If you're interested, we can go together. You can decide on the split, Wu Jiangwo said in a clear voice. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Man's best friend, a treasury, that's interesting. How about this, I'll take all the gold inside. You'll have lots of food in exchange. Consider it as payment for the gold. I won't change you. How about it? Wang Ran suggested. As someone who had been through this, Wang Ran knew the value of gold. After the apocalypse had gone on for a while, order gradually returned, and all currency became worthless. Only the ancient metal, gold, was once again valued by people. Wu Jiangwo looked at his men and then nodded. We'll do as you say. When do we take action? Wu Jiangwo asked. I'll have a word with my girls, then we'll set off, Wang Ran said with a smile. You're leaving the ladies on their own. Aren't you afraid that others will target this place? Wu Jiangwo was a little worried. Do you see the 200 dead zombies at the door? One of the girls got up this morning and was bored, so she killed them all by herself. I don't think anyone can take down this warehouse unless someone comes with military vehicles. After Wang Ran finished speaking, he turned around and entered the warehouse. F***ck. One person did all that, boss, do you believe him? He must be joking. The underlings all gasped. I don't think he has any reason to lie. Those two girls carried a lot of weight without breaking a sweat in our first meeting. Look, those 200 zombies all died in the same way. Their skulls were all based in. It's clearly the same person. It adds up to his claim. Although I don't know how she did it. Wu Jiangwo fell into thought. The underling swallowed deeply. Terrifying, too terrifying. No wonder he was able to occupy such a bountiful stash. It was the work of a very formidable group. Not long after, Wang Ran came out. Let's go, he said. Let's read to get it done in an hour. I still have to deliver some takeaway later. Wang Ran had taken a pack of cold beer and distributed it to everyone. Thanks. Wu Jiangwo and his underlings were overjoyed. Cold beer was such a luxury during such times. Brother Wang Ran, let's go back to the campsite and drop the food off. We'll fetch the key to the vault, it's on the way, not far off. Wu Jiangwo started the car while drinking beer. In this day and age, there were no traffic police looking out for drunk driving. This much alcohol would not impair him. Wang Ran followed them to a school. There were some scattered zombies wandering around the school. Obviously, they had just walked in. The defenses were adequate. Around it, a large number of barriers and seats had been piled up to form a barrier, leaving only a small passage. There were also 4 strong men standing guard at the entrance of the passage. I used to serve in the army, so I have some experience. I used local materials to set this up. Don't laugh, Wu Jiangwo said with a smile. With this setup, there shouldn't be any problems for the next fortnight, Wang Ran muttered. Fortnight, why a fortnight? Wu Jiangwo did not understand. I've seen some things. Just trust me. Don't ever stop improving on your fortifications. Mutated zombies were going to make their appearance soon. Although these early mutations were not very strong, each would still take a dozen people to bring down. If they grew complacent, they were bound to suffer heavy losses. Wu Jiangwo and his men carried the food into the stadium. Wang Ran waited at the entrance. He had nothing to do, so he looked around the stadium. He did not like the location of this base. It could temporarily shelter them from the wind and rain and keep some zombies out. However, it was located in the center of the city. There were many residential areas around. The more residential areas there were, the more people there were, and the more zombies there were. When mutated zombies start showing up, they could get into trouble. However, everyone had their own way of survival in the apocalypse. Wang Ran would not interfere with them. After all, there were so many people in the world, and it was impossible for Wang Ran to take care of every single one of them. At that moment, a small figure flashed behind the outer wall of the stadium and caught Wang Ran's attention. Wang Ran walked over carefully. A thin and frail little golden retriever was curled up in the corner, shivering. Judging from its size, this little golden retriever was probably only a month old. Its eyes were a little dim. It was clearly malnourished. Rotten zombie meat was around, but it was smart and had not eaten it. Wang Ran took out a ham sausage from his pocket, which he always carried around as a snack. He peeled it and placed it in front of the golden retriever. The little fellow was obviously famished. After it confirmed that Wang Ran had no ill intentions toward it, it gobbled the sausage in a few bites. The golden retriever let out a few soft cries, seemingly expressing that it was still hungry. I only brought one. Why don't you come with me? I have quite a lot of meat at my place, Wang Ran said with a smile. It was unknown if the little golden retriever understood Wang Ran's words, but it walked up and rubbed against Wang Ran's shoes. Alright, you can follow me from now on. Wang Ran immediately picked up the little golden retriever, wrapped it in his coat, and put it in his arms. Having a dog in the post-apocalyptic world had many benefits. For example, they could stand watch at night and sniff out supplies. Of course, this had to be a smart dog. If it was a certain Malamute, its owner may not have long to live. Not long after, Wu Jiangwo came out. This time, he brought a few more people, a total of 7 people. They were all equipped with hammers, maces, steel pipes, and other bludgeoning weapons. It seemed that they attached great importance to the operation of the vault. Let's go, brother Wang Ran. Wu Jiangwo led everyone into the car. Yo, brother Wang Ran, where did you pick up this dog from? In this world, we can't afford to keep dogs. It's going to take up a lot of resources when it grows up. Wu Jiangwo sighed. It was pleasing to the eye, so I picked it up. I don't lack food. Wang Ran smiled. That's true. There are quite a number of large supermarkets in the city. Yours seems to be the most secure. I've been to other supermarkets. Some of them are barely even standing. Wu Jiangwo sighed. Wang Ran smiled wordlessly. His warehouse had been surrounded by over 1,000 zombies. Su Xiaoyu would only clear the ones closest to the warehouse door. There were still many zombies wandering around the periphery. Most people wouldn't dare to have any ideas about this warehouse under such circumstances. Of course, with the passage of time and the gradual depletion of resources, people would grow more desperate and take bigger risks. Therefore, after the food with short shelf lives have run out, Wang Ran would prepare to make a move. Chapter 24. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Deep underground. After a few minutes of driving, the group arrived at the entrance of a bank. The bank was the largest bank in the city, and one of the few banks that had a dedicated underground vault. Even though it was the end of the world, it was still standing firm. The treasury and the gold vault were all firmly locked. Without the key, no one would have the tools to break in. Let's go. We've been here once. It shouldn't be very dangerous, Wu Jiangwo said as he got out of the car. The group lifted the anti-theft curtain and entered the bank. The interior of the bank was dim, and it was very quiet. Wang Ran gently stroked the little golden retriever's head soothingly. Wang Ran did not dare to leave this little thing alone in the car. In terms of safety, Wang Ran was the safest spot for it. Go through 2 doors, and you'll find the small elevator that leads to the underground vault. We got the key and the keycard. Wu Jiangwo patted his pocket. Wang Ran nodded. He would not be able to force open a vault anytime soon. Of course, when the city ran out of power, it would be even more difficult with the vault sealed shut. Wu Jiangwo swiped his card and led everyone through the 2 doors smoothly. They did not encounter any zombies on the way. We didn't go this far the last time we came. But there are no zombies here. I can't help but find it strange, Wu Jiangwo said softly. There are definitely zombies here, Wang Ran said with certainty. He could feel the little golden retriever in his arms trembling in fear. Animal instincts were never wrong. As soon as the little golden retriever entered, it began to tremble, which meant that there was definitely a problem here. However, this little fellow was also quite obedient. Although it was afraid, it did not call out once. Brother Wang Ran, you're definitely more experienced than me with this. Please take the lead. Everyone, stay alert. Wu Jiangwo reminded them softly. At that moment, one of the underlings accidentally kicked a flashlight. In the quiet environment, it was particularly loud. Everyone stopped in their tracks and observed their surroundings. Nothing happened. If there were any zombies, they would have pounced on us. Unless. Wu Jiangwo frowned. Unless the zombies are down there. Wang Ran pointed at the floor. There shouldn't be any danger on this floor. Those zombies were probably bank staff who took the elevator and hid down below after the zombie outbreak. Judging from the current situation, there should be no living people down there. They would not be able to determine how many zombies were down there. Let's go, we'll have to head down. Wang Ran went over and pressed the elevator button. For the sake of security, this was the only elevator that could lead to the bank's vault. The elevator slowly rose up to their level. The tension in the hearts of Wu Jiangwo and the others kept increasing as the elevator slowly went up. Everyone pointed their weapons at the elevator door. Ding! Ding! The sound of the elevator arriving made Wu Jiangwo and his people tremble. Then, the elevator door slowly opened. It was empty inside. There was a long trail of blood on the floor of the elevator, but other than that, the elevator looked quite normal. This blood stain is so strange and telling. Wu Jiangwo frowned. Someone was hiding in the elevator, trying to escape. Something dragged the unfortunate soul out before that could happen. There are no bloodstains on the ground of our floor. This means that everything happened downstairs. There are indeed zombies down there. Be careful, everyone. After saying that, Wang Ran took the lead and walked into the elevator. The others hesitated for a moment before following suit. The elevator door slowly closed, and it began to descend. Going down was much more nerve-wracking than waiting for the elevator to come up. The space in the elevator was only so limited. If something happened, there would be no place to run. In addition, the unknown was the most terrifying. No one knew what would happen when the elevator door opened. The fluorescent light in the elevator flickered, making a crackling sound. A young man with long hair shivered in fear. Ha ha ha, Lin Hua, are you cultured people all so timid? A brawny man laughed. I'm just an ordinary person, isn't it normal to be afraid? Lin Hua was a primary school teacher, and he was indeed a little scrawny. Wu Jiangwo would not have brought him out if not for the fact that Hua Zi and the other 3 had gone to Wang Ran to end themselves, resulting in a shortage of manpower. If you really encounter danger later, don't wet yourself. the burly man joked. The tense atmosphere in the elevator eased up because of the conversation between the two. Boom. The elevator stopped. Everyone grew wary again. All the weapons were pointed outside in unison. Ding! Ding! With a crisp sound, the elevator door slowly opened. It was dark ahead. A gust of cold wind blew in their faces. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. The little golden retriever in Wang Ran's arms trembled even more. Everyone, be careful. Danger is definitely close by. Wang Ran held his sword in one hand and a flashlight in the other. He walked in front. The others followed closely behind under Wu Jiangwo's lead. It was a long passage. The light from the flashlight couldn't reach the end. It only provided enough visibility for a dozen meters before him. On both sides of the passage. There were all corpses. F***ck. Why are these corpses all dismembered? This doesn't look like something zombies would do. The burly man muttered softly. Normal zombies only ate living humans. They never had to be needlessly cruel. Something's wrong. Some of the corpses were dismembered when they were already zombies. This is definitely not done by ordinary zombies. It's possible. Wang Ran had a bad feeling in his mind. A mutated zombie. Someone once concluded that the more confined the space was, the more likely it was for mutated zombies to appear. This was just like the Chinese poison jar story. Poison would kill poison within a small space and something potent and deadly would emerge. At first, Wang Ran thought that the mutated zombies would only appear a month after the apocalypse. Unexpectedly, it had only been a few days. Perhaps these mutated zombies had not shown up late, they had been there from the start but remained trapped elsewhere. Woo! At the end of the corridor, there was a soft whimpering sound. It was creepy. I'm done. I'm out of here. Lin Hua shouted and rushed to the elevator. F***ck Lin Hua, what are you doing? Wu Jiangwo hissed. Shouting like that was disastrous. Chapter 25 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mutant zombie, Lin Hua, come back. If you take the elevator up, what are we going to do? The brawny man wanted to call Lin Hua back, but Lin Hua was only focused on escaping. He had already run into the elevator and was desperately pressing the button. The elevator door slowly closed. F***ck. The burly man cursed softly. Don't worry about it, let's go. Just kill whatever you can find. Wang Ran continued to walk forward. Brothers, keep up. Wu Jiangwo took the lead and followed Wang Ran closely behind. He truly admired Wang Ran for being able to remain calm in such a situation. Soon, Wang Ran was close to the end of the passage. He raised the flashlight. A woman with long hair that reached her shoulders was munching on something with her head lowered, her back facing the group. Woo-woo. The woman sensed the people behind her and stopped gnawing. She let out a sound that gave people goosebumps. Boss, what is that even? The burly man was a little scared. She doesn't look like a living person. Wu Jiangwo's body trembled instinctively. His intuition told him that this thing was very dangerous. Wang Ran hung the flashlight off his belt and held his sword with both hands. He had to take this seriously. Ka. The long-haired woman slowly turned her head. A pale face and bloodshot eyes. Her pupils were the signature gray-white color. L.rg Her chin and neck were covered in black blood. It was dried blood. From the looks of it, she was the one who had eaten all the corpses in the underground passage. A mutated female. It's a pity that you're a little ugly. Wang Ran smiled. Woo-woo. With a wail, the long-haired female zombie suddenly stood up. Her long nails left deep scratches on the wall beside the passage. Boom. The female zombie's sharp claws scratched the wall, sending some gravel and sand flying toward the group of people. Then, she hopped off the walls of the passage in quick succession and approached the crowd. Slick. Hee hee. Wang Ran's reaction was far better than an ordinary person's. He quickly followed the female zombie's movement in the air. His sword came down. The female zombie's arm fell to the ground, severed. The female zombie let out an ear-piercing scream and fell to the ground. However, she quickly got up again. The short-haired man closest to her swung an iron bar at her head. There was a muffled sound. The female zombie did not seem to be fazed. She gritted her teeth, and her sharp claws instantly swept across the short-haired man's forehead. The short-haired man's head and scalp fell to the ground. The female zombie reached out and dug out the short-haired man's brain, then put it into her mouth. Zhang Chang. Wu Jiangwo's eyes turned red. He waved his fireman's axe and hacked at the female zombie. The female zombie effortlessly evaded his blows. Stand back. I'll take her. Wang Ran said indifferently and charged at the female zombie with his sword. Wu Jiangwo knew that he and his people were no match for the female zombie and would only be a hindrance, so he immediately took a few steps back. When Wang ran rushing over, the female zombie's eyes showed a hint of vigilance. Roar. The female zombie hesitated for a moment. She did not dare to fight Wang Ran head-on. Instead, she chose to rush toward Wu Jiangwo and the others, who were easy to deal with. Damn it, why are you so cowardly? Wang Ran immediately chased after the female zombie. However, judging from her speed, he might be too late to save Wu Jiangwo. Wang Ran made a prompt decision. He held the long sword in reverse and threw it at the female zombie's back. Pfft. The long blade pierced through the female zombie and nailed her to the ground. Wang Ran quickly stepped forward, stepped on the female zombie's back, and pulled out the sword. Ka. The female zombie's head turned 180 degrees to the back, and her mouth opened and closed, releasing a foul odor. Bye. Wang Ran raised his sword and swung it down. The female zombie's head rolled to the side. Phew. How the hell do zombies end up like that? She was so F***ing difficult to deal with. If it weren't for you, brother Wang Ran, we would all be dead. Wu Jiangwo heaved a long sigh of relief. He had never seen a zombie that could tear open a human skull with one claw. It seems that all the people here have turned into zombies. So many zombies had nothing to eat, so they started to eat each other's brains. In the end, the strongest remained. This was it. Wang Ran kicked the female zombie's head. In the future, the zombies will become stronger and stronger. All of you should get ready as soon as possible. Your base will not hold for long. Wang Ran reminded him. I greatly appreciate the advice. Let's continue. Our target this time is gold. We can't come here for nothing. Wu Jiangwo sighed. He had lost yet another man. It would be a pain in the ass if he returned empty-handed. The group of people walked to the end of the passage. At the end of the corridor was a huge round door. There was a keyhole in the middle of the door handle. Wu Jiangwo stepped forward and inserted the key. Then, he and Wang Ran turned the handle. Boom. Crack. The door was unlocked. The heavy iron door was opened. Wang Ran shone the flashlight inside. I'll go. It's so exciting. Behind the metal door was a large, squarish space. It was filled with cash and gold bricks. He had no use for cash now. No one would use cash, even in vending machines. Normally, they would just smash it. One brick of gold was exactly 1,000 grams. It looked like there were about 500 pieces of it there. If this had been from before the apocalypse, it would have been worth 100 to 200 million yuan. However, In the current situation, everyone was looking for food and no one paid attention to gold. It wasn't until the apocalypse stabilized before gold became an important currency. All the survivor camps of various sizes also continued to hoard gold. Although Wang Ran wasn't clear about their motive, since someone wanted it, it meant that the gold had value. Pack it up. Wang Ran took the black canvas bag beside him and put the gold bars inside. Brothers, give me a hand. Wu Jiangwo and his underlings worked on moving the gold. Each bag weighed 50 kilograms, so there were 11 bags in total. Now I know how heavy gold is. They used to say that if one ever got their hands on a full bag of gold, they would be able to fly. Ha, what a load of crap. The burly man sighed. The group of people took the bags and took the elevator back to the first floor. Lin Hua had long since disappeared without a trace. The group loaded the bags of gold onto the carriage. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared around the corner of the bank. Help! Boss, save me! Lin Hua's shirt was covered in blood, and he was limping towards the crowd. Behind him were 3 or 4 zombies. King Hell, Lin Hua. You almost got us killed. If it wasn't for Wang Ran's amazing skills, we would have died down there. The brawny man raised his axe and charged at Lin Hua. Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A brilliant idea, Zhu Ming, forget it. He's already been bitten by a zombie. We don't need to do anything. Wu Jiangwo called out to the brawny man. After all, Lin Hua had not turned into a zombie yet, and Wu Jiangwo could not bear to do anything to him. You're lucky, kid. The brawny man, Zhu Ming, returned to the car. Let's go. We'll transport the gold over and exchange it for food. Then, our mission will be completed. Wu Jiangwo started the engine. The 2 pickup trucks drove to the supermarket one after the other. In the supermarket, Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo leaned against each other as they watched the educational film. You see, you can also do this and this. I didn't know about this before. Su Xiaoyu took note of the scenes as she watched. Lin Momo was too lazy to remember it all. Whatever, she preferred to be passive. Sister Xiaoyu, did you and Master know each other before? The curious Lin Momo asked. Yeep. I lived in the apartment opposite his. I used to see him jogging downstairs every day. There were a few times when I wanted to say hello to him, but he was too fast. I couldn't even catch up. Su Xiaoyu covered her mouth and laughed. She thought that the 2 of them could get to know each other through some opportunity, but who knew that the apocalypse would come that's good. Now, they could be considered acquaintances, although the way they got to know each other was a little strange. By the way, Sister Xiaoyu. What if Master goes out on his errands, and we happen to get hungry? Lin Momo raised an important question. That's a very good question, she said. It's a valid concern. It's fine if Master goes out for half a day, but if he's gone for a day or 2. We might go berserk. Su Xiaoyu pinched her chin. Yeah, what should we do? We can't possibly go out to eat humans, right? Besides, we won't gain anything without Master's blood. Lin Momo also expressed her concern. I have an idea. Su Xiaoyu's eyes lit up. We can secretly drain some of it while Master is asleep, like how they do it at blood donations. I'll store it in the cold storage. In case of emergencies. Su Xiaoyu said proudly. I'm really a clever little brat, I can even think of such a great idea. Master won't find out, will he? Lin Momo expressed her concern. Don't worry. Master sleeps like a log after our nightly exercise. When the time comes, we'll each get a bag. Be gentle, don't wake him up. Su Xiaoyu patted Lin Momo's back to encourage her. All right. Then let's give it a try. Lin Momo had finally been successfully bewitched by Su Xiaoyu. At that moment, the sound of a vehicle pulling up could be heard from outside. 2 pickup trucks also appeared on the surveillance screen. Master has returned. Let's go and welcome him. Su Xiaoyu jumped up gleefully. Although the two of them had not seen Wang Ran for only an hour, it felt like they had been separated for a few days. They missed him very much. Su Xiaoyu opened the door and the two girls punched and kicked at the zombies along the way. After blowing up a few zombies, they rushed to the front of the pickup. Master. Su Xiaoyu threw herself into Wang Ran's arms. Awu. The little golden retriever cried out, as if she had been woken up, expressing her dissatisfaction. Master, you've even brought a little fellow back. So cute. Su Xiaoyu took the golden retriever in her arms. Master, I want a hug too. Lin Momo immediately threw herself into Wang Ran's arms. It was a completely different sensation. After all, this one had significantly larger double airbags. Alright, let's get these bags in first. Wang Ran pointed at the bag of gold in the back seat of the pickup. Yes. The two girls carried 2 bags in each hand and carried them to the warehouse easily. Oh my god, how are those girls so strong? The brawny man, Zhu Ming, was stunned. They did not even seem to be struggling. It was terrifying, too terrifying. Alright, let's wrap it up, Wang Ran said to Wu Jiangwo. Brother Wang Ran. If it had not been for you this time, we might have all died inside. You have the final say on how and how much you're willing to give us. Wu Jiangwo said solemnly. Wang Ran thought about it. There was a total of more than 500 kilograms of gold. Splitting it in half would be 250 kilograms. According to the exchange rate he had posted online, he could get at least 2,500 pounds of food. But Wang Ran had also considered a practical problem. There were only a few dozen people in Wu Jiangwo's campsite. It was impossible for them to finish all the food given to them within the shelf life. Let's do it this way. I'll give you 1,000 pounds of food. I'll add in 10 boxes of milk, 5 boxes of beer, and 1 box of Lao Gan Ma. The shelf life of food is only about 10 days. Don't save it. Finish it as soon as you can, Wang Ran said, after thinking for a while. Wu Jiangwo's eyes lit up. This was much more than he had imagined. On this trip, although they had provided the key, it was Wang Ran's strength that allowed them to even take a single gold bar. If anything, they were bound for certain doom there. 500 pounds of food would have been great. Who knew that he would be willing to give 1,000 pounds? It even came with some beer and Lao Gan Ma. It was a great deal. His brothers had taken the risk to search for supplies. If only they could go back and have a sip of beer. It was worth it. Brother Wang Ran, you're too generous. I'm a little embarrassed. Wu Jiangwo scratched the back of his head and said. Then. Should I have it? Wang Ran joked. No need, no need. We'll do as you say. Wu Jiangwo grinned broadly. You guys clear the road, I'll arrange for people to move the things out. After Wang Ran finished speaking, he took the remaining bags of gold and went back to the warehouse. Brothers, clear the way. Wu Jiangwo and his men began to clear out the wandering zombies nearby. They might not be able to defeat the mutant zombies, but these regular zombies were easy to deal with. Soon, Lin Momo came out of the warehouse with a forklift. As an intern, she had learned how to operate this thing. Next, everyone began to move the goods into the truck. 1,000 pounds was not a small number. 2 pickup trucks could not fit them all. In the end, he provided them with another 2 small vans. That's enough, Brother Wang Ran. You're a saint. If you need anything in the future, feel free to contact me. Wu Jiangwo looked satisfied. After this trip, the people in the camp would no longer need to save on food. Take one of these as a memento. Wang Ran threw a gold brick into Wu Jiangwo's arms. They had risked their lives to accompany him into the vault, so they should have some souvenirs. All right. I hope we'll meet again in the future. Brothers, let's return. Under Wu Jiangwo's command, the convoy drove toward their campsite in a grandiose manner. I heard that you can bite into gold, is that true? Wu Jiangwo put the gold brick in his mouth and bit down on it. He really managed to leave a mark. Boss, aren't you afraid of getting gold stuck in your teeth and swallowing it? The brawny man, Zhu Ming, said with a smile. What's there to be afraid of? There's no need to be concerned about hygiene in this day and age. Wu Jiangwo remained unconcerned. He had no idea how long more he could survive in this world, so what was the point of thinking so much? Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Take that out, let's go. Come with me to your new home. Wang Ran brought the little golden retriever back to the warehouse. Master, what's the name of this little dog? Su Xiaoyu asked. I haven't given it a name yet. Let's take a look at the gender first. It's a female. Then let's give it a gentler name, Cui Hua. Wang Ran said. That doesn't sound easy on the ears. Why don't you call her Xiao Jin? Su Xiaoyu immediately rejected Wang Ran's suggestion. Although the name was simple, it was appropriate. The little golden retriever barked a few times to show her agreement. Momo, I'll leave the matter of its food to you in the future. Don't save the meat in the warehouse. I can't finish it all by myself anyway, Wang Ran ordered her. Master. She's too young, she can't eat meat. I've seen dog food in the warehouse. You can feed her puppy food first, and occasionally cook some bone soup. Lin Momo was more familiar with pets. If Wang Ran had been left to give it such a heavy diet, it would have taken a toll on its health. Oh right, I still have to go out to deliver some takeaway later. Help me prepare. 500 pounds of food. Wang Ran made a rough estimate. It was already 2 in the afternoon, so he should be able to deliver about 500 pounds today. Yes, master. But we're all a little hungry. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo said, smiles on their faces. There's no time, just take some red wine. Wang Ran extended his hand. Fortunately, he had some natural regeneration, or his finger would have been long gnawed off. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo each took a finger and started sucking. Xiao Jing, who was at the side, was stunned for a moment. Then, it followed suit and bit Wang Ran's finger. Whoa, what the? Why are you also? Go, go, go. Wang Ran pushed Xiao Jing to the side. Xiao Jing licked the blood on its teeth and swallowed it. A surge of energy began to expand in its body. Not long after, Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo let go of Wang Ran's fingers, satisfied. Alright, go and prepare the food. And get the little one some lunch. I think she's famished. Wang Ran sucked on his finger. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo nodded and went to work. Wang Ran logged into the forum, noted down the addresses, and wrote it down in his notebook. Today, he would first travel east and take a look at East Lake Island. Very quickly, everything was prepared. Master, can I come with you? Su Xiaoyu asked. You two should stay and look after the base. Momo isn't strong enough yet. I'm worried about her being left alone. I'll be back after I'm done. You guys. Stop watching those kinds of film, and watch some historical epics or documentaries. Wang Ran ordered. Su Xiaoyu and Lin Momo lowered their heads in shame. It couldn't be helped, they were all newbies and didn't have any skills. If they just went hard at it like animals. It wasn't bad, but it was getting a little old. Help me move my things out. I still need to get a car. Little fellow, don't follow me out, Wang Ran said to Xiao Jing. It was as if Xiao Jing understood what he was saying. It lay on the ground without moving. It was also possible that it was just too full. The three of them procured a cart to move the food out. Juan Ran searched the roadside and finally chose an MPV. Although there was a Porsche next to it, it could not carry the goods. The MPV was sufficiently powerful and spacious. The two girls helped to move the food into the car. "Master, come back soon." Su Xiaoyu gave Wang Ran a kiss on the cheek. I'm here too." Lin Momo kissed him on the other side. Wang Ran sighed in his heart. Fortunately, he only had 2 female zombie followers. If there were more than 10 of them, it would be really difficult to leave the base. No. If there were more than 10 of them, he would never leave again. Just the daily feeding would be enough to cripple him. Go on then, do come back early, you guys should head back in, too. When I'm not around, lure a few dozen zombies to the door to prevent others from having any thoughts about the warehouse. Wang Ran gave him some instructions and then set off in his MPV. The first address was not far off. It was a shop at the entrance of an old community. As for why the shops in the old neighborhood harbored so much gold, Wang Ran was too lazy to think about it. It could also simply be their meeting point. Very quickly, Wang Ran arrived at his destination. To be honest, the road in front of the old community was very narrow, and there were many cars parked along the way. Fortunately, Wang Ran was not terrible at driving, so he managed to make his way through. When he arrived at the shop's entrance, Wang Ran stuck his head out to take a look. It turned out to be a gold shop. No wonder there was gold. Wang Ran pulled the brakes and stopped the car. He had to deal with the zombies that he had attracted. However, the zombies in this old neighborhood seemed to be older. Some zombies might have suffered from osteoporosis in their lives and break their legs after jumping around for 2 steps. Wang Ran dealt with it rather easily, and he cleaned up the surroundings in a few minutes. After dealing with the zombies, Wang Ran knocked on the door of the gold shop. There was a slight movement inside, but no one came to open the door. I'm from the forum, gold for food. Wang Ran shouted inside. This time, someone perked up. Are there any more zombies outside? That was the first question the person inside asked. They were rightfully cautious. I've killed them all. Don't worry and open the door, Wang Ran said indifferently. It was normal to be wary. In this world, only those who were wary could survive. Previously, Wang Ran had only managed to survive for a year by being on high alert. The curtain door was pulled open. The person who opened the door was an old man in his 60s. There were 2 boys in their teens, holding sharpened wooden sticks in their hands. He was very vigilant. The food is in the car. You wanted 20 pounds of food, right? You got the gold. Wang Ran asked. I do. Sir, this price. The old man was a little hesitant, obviously thinking that it was too much. However, he and the 2 boys beside him didn't look too good. It was obvious that they hadn't eaten for 1 or 2 days. Food was more important to them. The price is up for discussion. You should know what the world is like now. What's the point of hoarding gold? Can it be eaten, or do you want to make a few accessories and die with some bling? Wang Ran said indifferently. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The seaside villa. The old man was stunned for a moment, but he quickly accepted the situation. Alright, let's do it. I have here. I'll trade 28 pounds of gold for 28 pounds of food. The old man had probably thought it through and took out all the gold. Wang Ran nodded. He had already prepared some leeway to deal with this kind of situation. Prepare the gold, I'll go get the food. Wang Ran turned around and walked back to the car. Grandpa. There's a cart full of food. Do you want to? The bigger boy asked. The old man understood what his grandson meant. They had so many people, and his grandson wanted to kill them and steal their goods. The old man frowned and hesitated for a moment. No. Look at the zombies at the door. They've all been killed. This man is strong. We're not his match. It's better to remain in this man's good graces. After all, the old man was old and experienced, so he was more cautious when considering situations. The boy gritted his teeth and gave up on the idea. Soon, Wang Ran came over with food. There were cooked food, vegetables, fruits, and noodles. It was quite a variety. As soon as the food showed up, the three stomachs growled at the same time. They had not eaten for a day and a half and were famished. Here's the gold. Keep it well. The old man obediently handed the gold to Wang Ran. There were gold necklaces and gold nuggets inside. Obviously, they had saved up the items in the shop and hadn't had the time to smelt them. Wang Ran used the tip of his blade to check on it. It was the right color, and no additional metals had been mixed in. Alright, the deal is complete. Good luck. Wang Ran put the gold into his black bag. By the way, if you want to kill someone, it's best not to show it on your face. I can read you like a book, Wang Ran turned around and reminded the older boy. As someone who had survived the apocalypse for a year, Wang Ran was a veteran. In addition, the boy was brash and naive, so Wang Ran could tell at a glance. The boy trembled. Did he see through my intention to kill him? He's not nervous at all. Is that how confident he is in his strength? The boy was so scared that he was instantly drenched in sweat. Fortunately, he had given up on that idea just now. Otherwise, he might have ended up like those zombies out there. The old man quickly pulled down the curtain door. With 28 pounds of food, the three of them could survive for at least another 10 days. As for what followed, he could only leave it to fate. Wang Ran returned to the MPV and continued to drive to the next target. The next target was an old warehouse in the city. Wang Ran sensed something wrong when he got close. This warehouse was poorly guarded. It was unlikely that any survivors would choose this place to survive. On the other hand, the dormitory building nearby was a far safer ground. So, the person who left this address. This was a problem. Sure enough. As soon as Wang Ran's car stopped, 5 men with firemen's axes in their hands appeared around him. They were all wearing helmets and blue overalls. They seemed to be the workers nearby. Supervisor, someone really showed up with food. It looks like it's filled to the brim, one of the workers said with a smile. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect this either. I don't have to worry about food now. I'm already sick of eating those shriveled buns. The leader was a middle-aged man with a beer belly. He was probably their supervisor. In the early days of the apocalypse, most small groups would still maintain their pre-apocalyptic organizational structure. A supervisor was still a supervisor. However, things would be different after a while. Only those who were capable and ruthless enough could be the boss. This trash. Like Beer Belly. It wouldn't take long for him to be kicked down by his men. What's wrong? Are you guys trying to rob me? Wang Ran was amused. He had not expected to encounter such a situation on his second delivery order. Brat, you're being too harsh if you say that we're robbing you. Come, have a smoke and put the things down. Let's just treat it as the beginning of a long friendship. The supervisor took out a cigarette and threw it to Wang Ran. Wang Ran smiled, drew his sword, and cut the cigarette in the air into 2. The 5 workers were stunned. This was a tough nut to crack. Supervisor, we outnumber him. What are you afraid of? A dark-skinned worker shouted. He was not only trying to oppress Wang Ran with his aura, but also to boost his courage. The workers' words reminded the supervisor. They had more people. Kid, no matter how good you are, can you handle the 5 of us? Just drop it. Everyone, save your strength. If you really force us to fight and you end up getting hurt, wouldn't that make things difficult? The supervisor threatened him. Who said? I'm outnumbered. Juan Ran smiled and directly turned on the car speaker on the MPV. It was not the best quality, but it was definitely loud. The boundless horizon is my love. A divine tune reverberated through the abandoned warehouse. The zombies outside heard the noise and started to group up. Are you crazy? You can't beat us, so you want to die with us. The supervisor's voice was filled with panic. Zombies were coming in from all directions. The 5 of them were doomed. Who said I can't beat you guys? I'm just feeling lazy. I can't be bothered to deal with trash like you guys myself. Juan Ran got into the car and turned off the audio. He had already attracted several zombies. If he attracted more of them, it would take more effort to get out. Supervisor, he's leaving. The dark-skinned worker pointed at the MPV. Boom. With the roar of an engine, the MPV sped up and crashed into the exit. After knocking down 3 to 5 zombies that were blocking the road, Juan Ran successfully drove away from the place. As for the 5 workers and dozens of zombies in the abandoned warehouse, they were no longer his concern. Juan Ran drove to his next target as he heard the screams from afar. The next few orders went smoothly. He did not encounter any further obstacles. More than half of the food in the car had been exchanged. In the end, all that was left was the seaside villa area next to East Lake Island. The last 2 clients were both in that neighborhood. Juan Ran drove along the seaside road for more than 10 minutes before he arrived at the villa. The gate of the villa was tightly shut, and there were many roadblocks outside. It was obvious that they had spent a lot of effort to take preventive measures. The villas of the rich were indeed different. Even in the apocalypse, he could enjoy this level of property service. Who are you? What are you doing here? 2 uniformed security guards with motorcycle helmets walked out of the guardhouse with long sticks in their hands. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Delivery, the delivery man. Someone ordered takeaway. Juan Ran stuck his head out of the car and said. Take out, you can still order takeaway in this world. The younger security guard was confused. The owners of Block 2 and 18. You'll know if you contact them and ask them yourself. Juan Ran looked at his notebook. Wait a moment. The older security guard took out a walkie-talkie and confirmed the situation. Is your neighborhood really that professional? While Juan Ran was waiting, he handed a cucumber to the younger security guard. Of course. Our neighborhood is the most luxurious in the city. The property fees alone are 100,000 yuan per household every year. Our security measures and whatnot were already the best in the country, even before the apocalypse. Our 50-man security team can basically guarantee that no zombies can sneak in from the outside. We will check the residential area regularly to prevent any internal residents from turning into zombies. The young security guard explained proudly. After that, he took a bite of the cucumber. It was delicious. But you guys are so enclosed. Do you have enough supplies inside? Juan Ran asked. He had his eyes on this neighborhood. Since the people inside were all rich, there must be a lot of gold. Instead of running around the city, it was better to work with the community of this villa. Sai, who has the supplies these days? Our property management was the only one who gave back to the residents a while ago. We got 2,000 pounds of organic rice and handed out 20 pounds per family. I don't think it'll last long. However, each of these households has a large courtyard. Many people have already started to plant potatoes and vegetables. Our property management excavated most of the green space and have started something here. As long as the zombies don't break in, we will manage to scrape by. The security guard sighed. Juan Ran nodded. A community like this had a natural advantage in the early stages of the apocalypse. Their walls were very high and they were connected to their own power grids. This was also a beach far away from the city. There weren't many zombies to begin with, and the scattered zombies would not be able to climb over the wall. As long as the people inside didn't seek death, it would be a relatively safe space. I've talked to the tenants. They did have some of your take out. Do you mind if we check the car? It's for safety reasons, please forgive me, the old security guard came over and said. No problem, there's only food in the car, no zombies. Wang Ran took out another banana and handed it to the old security guard. The old security guard smiled and put the banana in his pocket. This was the benefit of being a security guard. Usually, he would collect cigarettes, and during the apocalypse, he would collect food. He had no psychological barriers at all. The old security guard checked and confirmed that there was no problem. He then removed the roadblock and informed the guardhouse to open the railing. Wang Ran said goodbye to the two security guards and drove the MPV into the villa area. There were a total of 100 residences in this area. Wang Ran's clients were number 2 and number 18. After following the direction signs, Wang Ran drove to number 18. It was just as the security guard had said. Each of them had a large courtyard. Each unit would cost at least tens of millions. Wang Ran parked his car and rang the doorbell. Not long after, a middle-aged woman in a nightgown came out. She was holding a vegetable knife in her hand and seemed to be quite vigilant. You're the one on the forum who said you can deliver us food. The middle-aged woman was quite surprised when she saw Wang Ran actually showing up. She had only left this message when she saw this post by accident while browsing the forum. He didn't expect the other party to really send food to his door. Could it be that the outside world wasn't as chaotic as the forums made it out to be? You said you wanted 50 pounds, right? Wang Ran asked. That's right. 11 pounds of gold in exchange for 50 pounds of food. The middle-aged woman nodded. From her tone, it was as if she was just going out to buy groceries. It seemed that rich people were different. The things are in the car. If you bring the gold over, you can have them. Wang Ran opened the carriage and showed it to the middle-aged woman. At that moment, a strange sound came from the house. One of them seemed to be the sound of iron chains. Oh, that's my dog. I was worried about leaving it in the yard, so I locked it in the house. The middle-aged woman explained in a panic. I'll go get the gold. Wait a moment. The middle-aged woman said as she entered the house. The sound of the chains soon disappeared. After a while, the middle-aged woman came out with a small leather suitcase. These are gold bars issued by the bank. Each one is exactly 1,000 grams. There are 5 pieces here. The middle-aged woman took out the gold bar from the suitcase and handed it to Wang Ran. All right, here are your 50 pounds of food. When the middle-aged woman entered the house, Wang Ran had already moved the food out of the car and placed it in the courtyard. The middle-aged woman looked at it and frowned. You, she said. No meat, the middle-aged woman asked. Meat, there's some cooked food, but there's none today. The food that Wang Ran had brought over was food with a short shelf life. Meat could be kept in cold storage, so he didn't plan to trade it. Cooked food, is there any raw meat? It'd be best if it's the kind with blood. The middle-aged woman was slightly excited. A thought flashed through Wang Ran's mind. Iron chains. Raw meat. A chained-up zombie. This middle-aged woman had a zombie locked up in her house. It was either her husband or her child. I'm sorry, there's no raw meat. Wang Ran shrugged his shoulders. In the post-apocalyptic world, there was no need to talk about morals or the law, but feeding zombies with resources, this was simply too shameless. I can't stand it. The two of them had drunk his blood, so they shouldn't be in the scope of condemnation. I'm willing to pay double the price. 3 times. Is 3 times okay? The middle-aged woman pleaded. When she saw Wang Ran's expression, she knew that it was not that he did not have it, but that he was unwilling. That's right, in the apocalypse, vegetables and fruits were easy to grow, but poultry would be significantly harder to raise. I'm sorry, that's all I have. If you need anything in the future, you can just send me a message. I'll stop the service in a week. Wang Ran wrote a note and gave it to the middle-aged woman. The middle-aged woman sighed and a trace of disappointment flashed in her eyes. Obviously, the food did not make her very happy. After taking care of number 18, Wang Ran drove the MPV to find his last client. He could go home after this. After a round of searching, Wang Ran found number 2 in the depths of the villa area. Anything numbered above 10 would be on another level of luxury. Each top .10 residence had its own swimming pool, basketball court, and garden. Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crossbow-wielding girl, TSK, TSK, TSK. How disgusting. Wang Ran sighed as he parked the car. To be honest, living in such an environment was indeed quite enviable. His small apartment was like a doghouse compared to this place. Wang Ran stepped forward and knocked on the door. Then, he pressed the doorbell. It was probably because the house was too big that it took a while for someone to open the door. You're here to deliver food, right? The door opened a crack, and a crisp female voice asked. I'm not running a charity here, I'm here for a trade. Prepare your gold, Wang Ran said indifferently. Let me see if there's really food first. The girl was very cautious. Wang Ran sighed. He walked to the car, took out a bag of red bean bun and a bag of tomatoes, and shook them at the door. The door slowly opened. A girl in a checkered short skirt, who looked to be about 16 or 17 years old, was holding a crossbow in her hand. She was carefully sizing Wang Ran up. Where are the adults in your family? You're home alone. Wang Ran was stunned. It was already the end of the world, and it would be difficult for a little girl to survive. Although the current security measures in this community were still good, who knew how long they would last? Of course, I have adults in my house. The adults are all in their rooms, the little girl replied. Wang Ran smiled. Only a ghost would believe that. If there were adults in the house, would they let a little girl open the door? It was good to be on guard, but she was too inexperienced. If she met someone with bad intentions, she wouldn't be able to deal with them. You're the one asking for 30 pounds, right? I still have 74 pounds left here. If you give me the gold, I'll throw in a bonus. Wang Ran casually picked up a tomato and spoke as he munched on it. The girl was silent for a while and then nodded. I'll go get the gold. You wait at the door. The girl closed the door after she finished speaking. Wang Ran smiled. He was a little impressed by this little girl. This was very similar to his previous self. No matter what the situation was, they had to be on guard against the people around them. This was also the reason why Wang Ran, who was previously an outcast, could survive for a year. Not long after, the door opened again. The girl came out with a small box. 5,000 grams of gold. You can check it. The girl stopped when she was 10 meters away from Wang Ran and threw the box in front of him. At this distance, if an ordinary person had any bad thoughts, they would definitely not be as fast as the crossbow. Wang Ran was already used to the girl's cautiousness. He quickly tested the gold bar, and found it to be the genuine article. Here's 54 pounds. I'll leave 2 eggplants for the security guard at the entrance, and you can have the rest, Wang Ran said as he began to unload the goods. The 54 pounds of food were neatly placed on the ground. At that moment, the girl heaved a sigh of relief. By the way, can you get a mouse, gaming, something solid like razor, ROG, as long as it does the trick? I'll give you a gold bar in exchange, the girl said. Each of her gold bars was 500 grams. A gold bar in exchange for a mouse. Wang Ran was stunned. There was actually such a need. Are you an internet addict? If you can, get me a graphics card. 2080 Ti will do. I'll give you 2 gold bars. The girl added. I can get you a mouse. Generic. We can forget about the graphics card. I'm not going to Computer City just for 2 gold bars. This is my WeChat. If you need anything, you can send it to me. If I do happen to come across what you need, I'll let you know. Wang Ran wrote a note to the girl. The girl nodded. He didn't expect there to be such a convenient delivery service in the apocalypse. Other than the fact that it was a little harder to match up against opponents in LOL, life was no different from before. Wang Ran kept the gold bar and returned to the car. Today's Take.Out mission was completed, and he had a general understanding of the current situation in the city after traveling here. Now, all he had to do was to explore East Lake Island, and he would be able to go home. Wang Ran drove the MPV back to the entrance of the community. The 2 security guards from before came out to greet him from a distance. This was the relationship built by cucumbers and bananas. Done already? The old security guard asked with a smile. That's right, it was only 2 households, so it did not take long. By the way, there's still much more from where that came. Can you help me ask the residents here if they're interested? I'll give you some more the next time I come, Wang Ran said. If he wanted to quickly get rid of the food that was about to expire, this neighborhood was a good choice. After settling the security guards, they would naturally help to publicize it. Oh dear, how can I accept that? Alright. We'll help you ask around. You've already shown up and delivered to 2 houses, so the residents here should be more likely to believe and accept you, the old security guard said with a smile. Here, take these. Wang Ran took out some eggplants and handed them to the 2 security guards. He had to establish a good relationship with them. Oh, that's right. When I went to deliver something at number 18, I felt something off. Something told me. There's a zombie inside. Of course, I hope I'm just overthinking it. However, for safety's sake, you'd better go and take a look. Wang Ran reminded them. Although the life and death of the people here had nothing to do with him, they would have to postpone their deaths until he finished dealing with the food that was about to expire. Good. Thank you, sir. We'll go and check it out. The 2 security guards saluted Wang Ran. The railings and roadblocks at the entrance were removed, and Wang Ran drove away from the neighborhood. At the entrance of the community, there were a few fresh zombie bodies. It seemed like the guards had taken care of them when he went in to deliver the goods. The security measures here were indeed good. As long as it wasn't a sea of zombies or mutated zombies, it would be hold firm for a long time more. It was almost evening when he left the neighborhood. The scenery on the road by the sea was very good, and the setting sun reflected red on the sea. Wang Ran drove to East Lake Island, which was not far away. After crossing the long bridge, Wang Ran arrived at East Lake Island. This was an island that spanned over nearly 200 acres, and on the island was a newly built resort. In addition to the dozens of individual villas, there was also a large main building on the island. The main building had a restaurant, a gym, a rooftop pool, a cinema, a wine cellar, and so on. It could be said that the basic living and entertainment facilities were all complete here. There was even a freshwater purification system that could directly extract seawater and distill it into freshwater. The only regret was that he did not find a generator or anything of the sort. It was probably because the hotel had just been built and had not yet started operating, so it was not equipped. He didn't know if the few units at the side of the warehouse would be enough for them to use. Wang Ran walked around the island and sighed again. The location of this place was too good. Cliffs surrounded the island, and the bridge was the only way to reach the island. It was indeed a good place that was easy to defend and hard to attack. After the food on hand was dealt with, he could set up a base here. Oh no, it could even be done at the same time. The next time he delivered goods, he could drive a large truck over. Some things that did not need to be refrigerated, such as canned food, could be moved over first. When the time comes, I'll arrange for one of my zombies to watch over it.